Hi guys, I'm here today to do our little daily Major Arcana draw. I'll be drawing a Major Arcana from a deck and using it as a significator for a 3-card spread, which will tell us a little bit more about it in its own words, so to speak. So today I'm going to be using the Golden Tarot by Cat Black. This is one of my favorite decks, actually of all time. It's a Rider-Waite based deck, but I think that Cat Black did a really tremendous job with this deck. It is medievally inspired with some early Renaissance, but mostly late medieval Italian paintings being used as her inspiration for each card. So each card is basically clipped together from all sorts of different medieval art pieces, which is really cool, and she did a phenomenal job. So it's one of those chestnut decks for me. So let's see what we get. Okay, our Major Arcana for today, Canum, I suppose, is the Magician, which is interesting because that was on the bottom of the deck for our daily draw. If you checked out my Twitter, you saw that our daily card today was Judgment aspected by, what was it, Strength. And underneath Strength was the Magician, actually. So now what we're going to do is we're going to shuffle the rest of the deck, and we're going to ask for 3 cards that describe this card, 3 cards that represent this trump card's energy. Okay, interesting. So our 3 cards to describe the Magician today are represented by the Moon, the 3 of Wands, and the Hanged Man. So for me, this immediately smacks of the fact that the Magician is full of illusion, that the Magician does not really have to do with anything that is real in the traditional sense. The Magician is the aspect of God that creates nature, but that which he creates is not necessarily the true form of what that which he's created actually is, which is a really long-winded and confusing way of saying that everything that God makes, what it looks like on the outside is not actually what it is. And learning what something actually is requires understanding something at a very deep and intimate level, and understanding one's co-unity with the other thing, which is really obviously tricky and takes time. Of course, there's the whole principle that Crowley talks a lot about in his work, and of course we hear a lot about in schools of yoga and meditation, but samadhi, the point of meditation in which one acquires unity with the thing that they are meditating on. And this is incredibly important because it's in that unity that one realizes the truth about an object or thing or person or situation. One recognizes one's union with that thing and co-identity with that thing. And so the boundaries are broken up and we experience love. So the Magician really not really being about, sort of ironically not being about unity, considering the fact that it's the number 1, the Magician does not really have to do with things being unified. In fact, the magician is much more about division, and is much more about creating things by separating the original source material into categories and grouping things. And so the magician is very near and dear to the human psyche, really, because the human psyche functions very much the same way. Whenever we're presented with new information, we have an immediate tendency to categorize things within about 5 seconds in order to process that information better. So the interesting thing is that we naturally do not attempt to do the method for actually understanding something and for actually knowing something. Our brains actually fight against that principle of finding unity between two seemingly opposing things. And actually, by categorizing, we continue and perpetuate that division. So by perpetuating that division, we really fall under the sway of the moon here, because then we are convinced that there is really nothing real around us. There's nothing really explainable around us or understandable. We tend to look at things for face value and don't see the truth behind them. And so the magician certainly perpetuates that. The Three of Wands, however, is one of the more beneficial aspects of the magician, because even though the magician may be a trickster and may be deceptive, he is also productive, and he still is the secret to creation and to creating something of value. The Three of Wands really is about the formation of creation, and the magician has a lot to do with that principle inherently. The magician is still very much representative of the creative willpower of God. The magician is still the logos, the word and will of God that shapes matter and reality. And so the Three of Wands is very apt in describing him. Now, the Hanged Man is an interesting third card to receive for describing the magician, because the Hanged Man does represent, to some extent, that creative energy having been divided and having been placed in a condition of almost ignorance, because the Hanged Man, of course, traditionally is hanging himself by the foot in order to gain wisdom of some kind. He's taking a break from life, taking a pause, and meditating on truth and what that is for him. And a lot of the ideas contained in this card are the ideas of sleep and ignorance, and the idea of being a slave to that false reality that the magician creates and that the moon creates. Those three cards really do have a lot to do with each other. And so the Hanged Man is calling us, I think, to stop and listen more to what is actual and not what seems to be. And I think part of the way we do that is by channeling the more beneficial aspect of the magician through the Three of Wands, by using that energy to create things that are useful, and to express our creativity and to express our uniqueness. That really, I think, is one of the best ways one can activate the magician for themselves. I think otherwise the magician becomes an energy that is not helpful and that keeps us in a state of ignorance. And there's a lot of danger in that, considering, the Five of Swords is on the bottom of our deck. That's a warning to me. That tells me that, something is afoot here that isn't entirely positive, that isn't entirely good for us. And there is an idea of trickery there. So the magician clearly is not all puppy dogs and gumdrops, as some people may interpret him. The magician definitely has a dark side to him that does require this process of, in a way, self-sacrifice through the Hanged Man in order to better understand and to better deal with as beings in separation. So mostly just food for thought today. Some interesting cards came up. Uh, and I guess the advice today would be to create something. Create something that is an expression of your self. And I think when we create things, we have to find their value in their ability to bring people together and help people and connect us with others, because it's in that connection that there is value in the things that we make, and also there is that truth that we get through the idea of unity. Um, so yeah, I hope that this was interesting and helpful, and we'll see what we get tomorrow. So be sure to subscribe. Thank you very much. Like, comment, etc. And don't forget to check me out on Twitter and my new website. Alright, all those links will be below, and thank you very much, guys, and hope to hear from you soon. Alright, bye.